What's up, YouTube? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka What Kind of Snatch You Want, because I got plenty going around. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail of the video, this is my WWE Raw review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content I'm doing on the channel, and follow my social media down below in the description. Now let's get started. Now WWE Raw was a decent show for what it was, and I'd give that show a 5 out of 10. Now WWE Raw was live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Xfinity Mobile Arena. Commentary tonight were Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Alright. For the 29th time, WWE Raw is coming live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Video package last week on Raw. LA Knight and CM Punk battle Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins attacked until Jey Uso made the save. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce then booked Seth Rollins to defend his title against CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight in a fatal four-way match at WWE Clash in Paris. The Vision destroyed them after. Pre-show arrivals. Main event, Jey Uso is seen walking backstage. Women's World Champion Naomi is also shown walking backstage. She addresses the state of the Women's World title later tonight. Alright, so we get the Vision addresses the WWE Universe. The Vision, consisting of World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and the Tribal Thief Bronson Reed, heads to the ring. Seth Rollins embraced a beaming Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins then looks at the two pairs of sneakers Bronson Reed has stolen from Roman Reigns. Alright. Paul Heyman starts by saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is in God mode. In this city, he's God. They would have a statue of him in this city, but he's too humble to accept the credit he deserves for everything he's done in this industry in front of the camera and behind it. Bluntly, he's the GOAT. However, he's not the only one. The Vision is a ring filled with goats." Paul Heyman puts his arm around Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is the future of WrestleMania. He taught Roman Reigns to fear the spear. He's the big dog, and this is his yard. Then there's the owner of the shoe in La Fala. He's the master of the shoe Naomi. He puts Roman Reigns down. Roman Reigns wasn't man enough to get back up. He's the tribal thief, Big Bronson Reed. An OTC chant picks up. Paul Heyman says they're really chanting Paul E. Then there's a visionary, revolutionary and evolutionary who puts this all together. He deserves even more credit than Paul Heyman does. This man pinned Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. He did it not once in the main event of WrestleMania. He beaten Roman Reigns twice in the main event of WrestleMania. Paul Heyman says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Seth freaking Rollins." The crowd starts to sing Seth Rollins' theme song. Seth Rollins takes the microphone, but before he can say anything, main event Jey Uso music hits. Jey Uso makes his way through the crowd. Seth Rollins looks frustrated. Jey Uso stops in the aisleway and speaks from among the fans. Jey Uso has some kids say yeet. Jey Uso says he's tired of hearing Seth Rollins talk. He's also tired of hearing Paul Heyman talk. As a master of fact, Jey Uso is tired of them all trying to threaten his family. Jey Uso says he's tapped out Gunther at WrestleMania to become the World Heavyweight Champion. I'll give you, it gets worse for Seth Rollins. Jey Uso looks at the puppy dog. Braun Breaker will stay on the porch because he's messing with the real one. Braun Breaker rolls his eyes. Braun Breaker kind of looks like a puppy dog. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Alright, Seth Rollins asked Braun Breaker if he heard what Jey Uso said. Jey Uso thinks he's better than him and can beat him here tonight. Jey Uso thinks he's faster and stronger than him. Jey Uso thinks his family is more important than Braun Breaker's. He thinks Braun Breaker's dad is a loser and his uncle is a moron. He thinks his family is a bunch of fat, you know what. Braun Breaker is getting fired up and goes to leave the ring, but Seth Rollins stops him. Paul Heyman wants to get something straight. Jey Uso wants to pull this on them in Philadelphia a long time ago in a bingo hall not that far away. And ECW champ fires up. Man would settle their grievances inside the ring. There will be a very specific type of match where they do it. No disqualifications, no countouts, winner by pinfall or tapped out only. In the name of the Sandman smashing a beer can into his head. New Jack being the only real gangster in this business. Rob Van Dam smoking his opponent, and the late great Sabu involving moves on one had seen, as well as Tommy Dreamer, who isn't dead yet, but should be, in the name of the Dudley Boys, putting everyone through a table. So Paul Heyman took shots at Tommy Dreamer. Alright. Jey Uso cuts Paul Heyman off. Jey Uso gets the crowd going. Jey Uso says, "Great minds think alike. All he needs tonight are Extreme Rules. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet." Alright. Well, after weeks, a non-finish in the #WWE Raw main event, they instantly guaranteed us a finish tonight with the Extreme Rules. Paul Heyman laid it out. Winner by pinfall or tap out only. No disqualifications or countouts. How would they get out of this? Or do they give a finish? Alright, this segment was okay for what it was. Alright, let me move on. Video package. Last Monday on Raw, the Kabuki Warriors offering to accompany Io Sky to ringside for her match against Roxanne Perez. Io Sky declines and ultimately got beaten after the Kabuki Warriors botched some interference. Io Sky will go on to say they didn't help her, so an angry Asuka shoves her. Alright, at this point, I can see Asuka turning heel. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely see Asuka turning on Io Sky. I can definitely see Asuka as a heel turn. Alright, let me move on. Io Sky is warming up when the Kabuki Warriors walk up to her. Asuka apologizes for last week. Io Sky accepts the apology. Kairi Sane tells Io Sky to let them know if they need help tonight. Asuka says they'll always have her back. Io Sky says she knows they have her back, but she needs to do this alone, just like Asuka did. They high five. Like I stated just now, Asuka is turning heel on Io Sky. I can definitely see it coming. Alright, Io Sky makes her entrance. She'll battle with Cora Rodriguez next. Commercial break. WrestleMania is returning to Las Vegas on April 18th and April 19th in 2026. Thank goodness. Alright, but I wish WrestleMania would be in a different location, but it is what it is. But Io Sky, okay, so we get the first match. Io Sky versus Cora Rodriguez, accompanied by the prodigy Roxanne Perez. And this match right here, ain't even gonna lie, this was, in my opinion, this was a good match in my opinion. The bell rings and Io Sky grabs a race lock. Io Sky ducks an elbow and wrenches the arm. Cora Rodriguez fights out with a scoop slam and taunts the crowd. Cora Rodriguez throws Io Sky across the ring before elbowing her in the head in the corner. Io Sky, Cora Rodriguez sends her into the ropes, but Io Sky ducks a clothesline and clips the leg. Cora Rodriguez does a kick, so Io Sky goes for a perfect. Cora Rodriguez holds her up and falls back onto her for a 2 count. Cora Rodriguez punches her in the midsection and clubs the spine. Cora Rodriguez whips her hard into the corner before hitting some back elbow to the face. Cora Rodriguez powers her up by the head and puts her on the top rope. Cora Rodriguez talks some trash, so Io Sky fights her off. Io Sky comes off the second rope with a flying hurricanrana. Io Sky then flips over Cora Rodriguez and does some handsprings before hitting a drop kick. Io Sky rocks her with a kick to the head. Cora Rodriguez rolls out of the ring to recover. Io Sky hits the ropes, but Roxanne Perez grabs grabs the foot. The referee misses it because she was checking on Raquel Rodriguez. Io Sky turns into a big boot from Raquel Rodriguez. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Io Sky avoids a slingshot cross school elbow drop. Io Sky then sidesteps her and sends her out of the ring. Io Sky hits a pair of shoti uppercuts and kicks to the knee before hitting a basement drop kick to the head. Raquel Rodriguez reverses a whip to the corner. But Io Sky twists to the apron. Io Sky knocks her back and goes to the top rope for a missile draw kick. Io Sky flips up to her feet and gets the crowd going. Io Sky goes for a bullet train attack, but Raquel Rodriguez powers her up and hits a Samoan drop. Raquel Rodriguez follows up with a slingshot cross school elbow drop for a 2 count. Raquel Rodriguez pulls her up on the apron and talks trash, so Io Sky snaps her off to the top rope. Io Sky goes for a springboard, but Raquel Rodriguez grabs her. Io Sky counters with a roll-up into a double stomp to the midsection. Io Sky heads to the top rope for an over the moonsault, but she lands on her feet when Raquel Rodriguez moves. Io Sky starts to hobble around. Raquel Rodriguez then turns her inside out with a clothesline for a near fall. Raquel Rodriguez ties her up and charges, but Io Sky ducks and rolls her up for a 2 count. Io Sky boots Raquel Rodriguez back and hits a diving tornado DDT. Raquel Rodriguez rolls out of the ring to recover. Io Sky teases a dive onto Raquel Rodriguez, but she redirects and hits Roxanne Perez with a suicide dive. Io Sky gets in the ring and goes for a suicide dive on Raquel Rodriguez, but Raquel Rodriguez catches her and rolls through her before throwing her into the ring post. Raquel Rodriguez goes for the touch-up bomb, but Io Sky counters with a hurricanrana into the turnbuckles. Io Sky hits the bullet train attack before going to the top rope for an over the moonsault to pick up the win. The winner of the match by pinfall, Io Sky. This was a good match between Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez. Alright. The Prodigy, Roxanne Perez, gets in the ring and attacks Io Sky. Raquel Rodriguez joins in and they double team her. This is my brutality. Rhea Ripley came out. The way that Rhea Ripley came out through the curtain, ran, and she glided inside the rings. That was just smooth right there. Rhea Ripley heads to the ring to a huge ovation. Rhea Ripley boosts the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez, down before headbutting Raquel Rodriguez. Rhea Ripley punches away at Raquel Rodriguez before ducking a big boot. Io Sky takes Raquel Rodriguez out with a missile dropkick. Rhea Ripley then big boots Raquel Rodriguez over the top rope. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky stand tall in the ring. Alright. It started a little slow, but they pulled the crowd into it and had a very decent match depending on what happens with Naomi's address. I wonder where Io Sky will stand with this Judgment Day feud. At the very least, it looks like a tag match at WWE Clash in Paris. # WWE Raw. Alright, let's move on. Backstage segment. Jackie Redman is backstage with LA Knight. She asks about his title match at WWE Clash in Paris. LA Knight isn't worried about any plan B or C. CM Punk walks over and interrupts. LA Knight tells Jackie Redman to stay. CM Punk says he wants to get something clear. They need to be on the same page. LA Knight says he's had 2 championship opportunities, but CM Punk stunk his nose in it. It's not personal, it's business. CM Punk says they need some conscience and need to watch each other's backs. It's the numbers game with Seth Rollins' group. LA Knight says it didn't work last week. LA Knight says when they get to Clash in Paris, one man will hold the title up. It won't be CM Punk, it will be LA Knight, yeah. And walks off, and CM Punk says no. Main event, Jey Uso will battle Braun Breaker in Extreme Rules match. Alright, the New Day and Grayson Waller head to the ring. Xavier Woods will battle Penta next. Commercial break. Video package highlight our show from this past Saturday, Triple Mania. Backstage segment. Rhea Ripley is backstage with Io Sky. Rhea Ripley says she couldn't help but get involved there. The Kabuki Warriors came over. Asuka leers at Rhea Ripley. Asuka is upset that Rhea Ripley could help, but they're not allowed. Rhea Ripley says she helped because they were nowhere to be found. Rhea Ripley and Asuka argue until Io Sky yells at them to stop fighting. Io Sky shouts in Japanese and goes wild as she walks off. Kairi Sane looks concerned. Asuka warns Rhea Ripley to stay out of their business. Kairi Sane stuck between a rock and a hard place. Looks at Rhea Ripley before walking off. Now, I'm gonna say this one more time. Asuka is turning heel. I can definitely see that, and that's all I gotta say. Asuka's going to turn on the Kabuki Warriors. I can definitely see that. All right, the cameras turn around and walk into the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Video package 2 weeks ago on Raw. Penta attacked the New Day and Grayson Waller before destroying Xavier Woods' Morin hat. So we get the second match. Xavier Woods accompanied by Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller versus Penta. And this match right here, it was a solid match for what it was. Xavier Woods is claiming the ruined Morin hat cost $18,000. They get in each other's faces before getting into a shoving match. Penta does the Zero Miedo tongue before grabbing Xavier Woods' beard. Xavier Woods knocks him to the corner and starts to punch, but Penta bends his head and kicks him. Penta goes for a handstand slingshot dropkick, but Xavier Woods slips to the apron. Xavier Woods super kicks him, and as he was attempting a slingshot maneuver, Xavier Woods hits a back suplex on the apron and shouts, "Give me money. Give me my money." Commercial break. Back from the break, Penta puts Xavier Woods on the apron. Xavier Woods quickly snaps him off the top rope. Xavier Woods slings into the ring and struts, walking on and over Penta. Xavier Woods hits a running big boot for a 2 count. Xavier Woods applies a weird chin lock. Penta fights up. Xavier Woods sends Penta into the ropes, but he lowers his head and eats a kick. Penta kicks him in the knee and hits a reverse sling blade. Penta hits a to-the-world backbreaker, so Xavier Woods rolls out of the ring to recover. Penta goes to the top rope and stands on top of the ring post. Penta takes Xavier Woods and Grayson Waller out with a diving crossbody block to the floor. Penta gets Xavier Woods into the ring. Penta kicks Xavier Woods in the head and does a handstand slingshot corner dropkick for a 2 count. Penta grabs Xavier Woods for a Penta driver, but Xavier Woods gets out of it. Xavier Woods hits an inverted vertical suplex for a near fall. Xavier Woods pulls Penta up and hits a uppercut before booting him in the corner. Xavier Woods chops the chest and goes for an avalanche, but Penta moves. Xavier Woods knocks Penta back and charges, but Penta hits him with a Penta driver. Penta is too injured to immediately follow up. 1-2 Kofi Kingston puts Xavier Woods' foot on the bottom rope. Xavier Woods goes for all fours to get up, so Penta jumps off his back and hits Kofi Kingston with a somersault plancha to the floor. Penta gets in the ring and Xavier Woods catches him with the inside cradle for a 2 count. Penta kicks him in the face and hits a Mexican Destroyer for the win. The winner by pinfall, Penta. This was a solid match. What it was. Penta quickly gets out of the ring before Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller attacks him. Alright. Penta and Xavier Woods fought over the price of a mountain hat, a step up from Japanese shampoo commercial. Pretty decent match. Hashtag WWE. To me, it was solid for what it was. WWE and AAA World Collides is coming to the Pavilion at the Thomas and Mack Center on Friday, September 12th. Video package last Monday on Raw. Dirty Dominic Mysterio loaded his mask while teaming with El Grande Americano to beat AJ Styles and Dragon Lee this past Saturday after AJ Styles costing Dominic Mysterio the AAA Mega Champion. Dominic Mysterio challenged El Hijo del Vacino to a match at World Collides. Rey Mysterio confronted his son and made fun of him. Alright, the Judgment Day heads to the ring. World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and JD McDonagh will battle Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana next. So we go to commercial break. Next Monday Raw, will be live in Birmingham, England, and will have a special start time of 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And Philadelphia Eagles holding their Super Bowl trophy are showing at ringside. All right, so let me take a sip of my water. All right, so we get the next match, non-title tag team match. World Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, accompanied by the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, versus Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana. And this tag team match right here, I must well say, this tag team match was not bad, but I might as well say it was a fun tag team match. Dragon Lee will start against JD McDonough. They circle the ring and lock up. They tussle into the ropes for a position before the referee separates them. Finn Balor pulls on Lee's mask. JD McDonough takes Lee down and stomps him. Dragon Lee reverses a whip, so JD McDonough goes for a sunset flip. Dragon Lee counters with a double stomp to the midsection. Dragon Lee chops the chest a few times. Dragon Lee blocks a kick and hits a dragon screw over the ropes. Dragon Lee backs up and charges, but JD McDonough twists the apron. JD McDonough kicks him back and clubs him in the face a few times. JD McDonough chops the chest and tags Finn Balor in. Finn Balor chops Dragon Lee in the corner before sending him to the opposite corner. Dragon Lee rolls out of the way and hits a slingshot corner drop kick. Dragon Lee wrenches the arm and tags Mr. Iguana in to a big ovation. Mr. Iguana hits an axe handle to the arm. Finn Balor clotheslines him down and stomps him. Finn Balor connects with a snap vertical suplex for a 2 count. Mr. Iguana starts to swim in place, so Finn Balor stomps him. Finn Balor connects with a scoop slam. Mr. Iguana comes back with an arm drag, followed by a tilt-a-word arm drag. Mr. Iguana drug kicks Finn Balor out of the ring. JD McDonough runs in, but Mr. Iguana sends him out of the ring. Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana hit the ropes together and sort of hit Mysterio's somersault senton on JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Back from the break, JD McDonough clubs away at Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee flips through a back suplex and hits a snap back suplex. Dragon Lee hits him in the face, but JD McDonough immediately come back with a poison rana. JD McDonough goes for a clothesline. Dragon Lee flips through and hits a Liger bomb. Mr. Iguana holds his iguana puppet and reaches for a tag. Mr. Iguana and Finn Balor tag in. Mr. Iguana hits Finn Balor with the La Yesca puppet a few times before hitting a running hurricanrana. Mr. Iguana throws his puppet at JD McDonough and kicks him in the head. La Yesca bites Finn Balor as Mr. Iguana goes to the top rope. Mr. Iguana then redirects and hits JD McDonough with a diamond cross body block for the 2 count. Dragon Lee tags in right before a bounce Finn Balor's face off the turnbuckles. Dragon Lee goes for an Operation Dragon, but Finn Balor counters with a falling elbow drop. 1-2, Mr. Iguana breaks it up. JD McDonough sends Mr. Iguana to the floor with a moonsault. Dragon Lee rolls Finn Balor up for a 2 count. Dragon Lee kicks away at Finn Balor before hitting the ropes. Finn Balor hits a sling blade and singles for the end. Dragon Lee super kicks him down. JD McDonough distracts the referee, so Dominic Mysterio grabs Dragon Lee's foot. Finn Balor hits Dragon Lee with a woo drop kick followed by a coup de grace for the win. The winner by pinfall, the World Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day. Mr. Iguana used the La Yesca to try to revive Dragon Lee. The Judgment Day attacks them. Dominic Mysterio clears the commentary table. Dominic Mysterio pulls Dragon Lee up to the table, but El Hijo del Vecino catches him with a missile drop kick off the table. Vecino hits Finn Balor with a running hurricanrana on the floor. Vecino taps JD McDonough and hits him with a running mirror. Dominic Mysterio hits Vecino with the AAA Mega Champion. Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana are taken out before Dominic Mysterio hits Vecino with a Far Splash. Dominic Mysterio holds up the Intercontinental Champion and the Mega Championships. Alright. I love Mr. Iguana. I love this crossover with WWE and AAA. A great questions It was fun watching Mr. Iguana with my daughter. She loves him. I bet I'll be dropping some money on Lag Yuska pretty soon. Hashtag WWE Raw. Video package last Monday on Raw. Becky Lynch tapped Maxine Dupree out to retain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Natalya made the save, so Becky Lynch attack her. Backstage interview. Jackie Redman is backstage with the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. Jackie Redman asks about Becky Lynch's attack on Natalya. Becky Lynch says she didn't attack Natalya. Natalya attacked her. 2 weeks ago, Natalya verbally attacked her. Later, Natalya shoves her, so she defended herself. Natalya is biter because she doesn't belong. Natalya is wrestling for other promotions because she knows she doesn't belong in the ring with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch says, "Hey Natalya, welcome back to the big time." Alright, let's move on. Backstage segment. Natalya is walking backstage with Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa. Commercial break. Snickers presents WWE Raw on Netflix. The commentators talk about what's going on with Bayley. I think Bayley's going to get a dark character, something like that. But we gotta see. Video package. Bayley says she doesn't know if anything she's saying makes any sense. We hear the heel Bayley talking in her head, saying nothing makes sense. Without her, she's nothing. She's nothing. They were a double. What was I? It says they were a double champion and the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion of all time. All her friends stab her in the back. Bayley covers her ears to try to drown out the noise. The segment ends with Bayley in her voice suggesting a hug. All right, let's move on. I guess we're going with Bayley is a Herrick only we can hear the voices in her head. All right, let's move on. WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Natalya, accompanied by Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree, versus the man Becky Lynch. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie, this was a terrible match in my opinion. The bell rings and Natalya hits a headlock takeover. Natalya rolls her up for a 2 count. Becky Lynch quickly goes to the corner to keep Natalya away. Natalya blocks a kick and slings her down onto her face. Becky Lynch gets up and goes for a manhandle slam, but Natalya gets out and hits a German suplex. Becky Lynch rolls her out of the ring to recover, so Natalya hits a baseball slide. Natalya gets her in the ring and goes for a kick. Becky Lynch avoids it and drives her into the ring post. Natalya holds her shoulder in pain, so we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Natalya sidesteps and avalanche. Natalya is still favoring her shoulder. Natalya goes for a suplex, but her arm is too injured. Becky Lynch takes her down and goes for a cross arm breaker, but Natalya blocks it. Natalya rolls over and picks up a 2 count. Becky Lynch counters with a triangle type hold, but Natalya powers her up and slams her down. Natalya holds her arm in pain. The crowd is silent. Natalya elbows and kicks Becky Lynch away before hitting a snapmare. Natalya steps on her head and kicks her in the face. Natalya sets up for a sharpshooter, but Becky Lynch kicks the injured arm. Natalya connects with a discussed clothesline for a 2 count. Becky Lynch goes to the floor and Natalya pulls her by the hair. Becky Lynch snaps her off the ropes. Maxine Dupree checks on her, so Becky Lynch attacks her. Becky Lynch then hits Akira Tozawa with a baseball slide. Natalya does a curfew pin for a 2 count. Becky Lynch quickly cuts her off by attacking the arm. Becky Lynch applies the disarm her for the submission. Absolute silence during that exchange. The winner by submission and still your WWE the Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man Becky Lynch. This was a terrible title match between Becky Lynch and Natalya. Maxine Dupree helps Natalya up, so Becky Lynch blindsides them. Becky Lynch applies a disarm her to Maxine Dupree until Nikki Bella makes the save. They brawl before Nikki Bella hits the Rack Attack 2.0. Nikki Bella talks trash to Becky Lynch and stands tall over her. Now, I like Nikki Bella's ring gear, and that's all I gotta say. She on the green and white shoes with it to match her wrestling gear. I can't recall a crowd being so apathetic towards a match as this one with Becky Lynch and Natalya. No one believed Natalya would win, not even for a second. The silence was defending, not defending. Um, Hashtag WWE. This was a terrible in the WWE Women's Title match between Natalya and Becky Lynch. All right, let's move on. Backstage segment. Jackie Redman is backstage with Sheamus. She asks about the chaos with Rusev. Sheamus says Rusev doesn't consider running into him with his WWE return. Rusev shows up, but they immediately separate. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce says he has had enough. They get it out of their system for the final time at WWE Clash in Paris in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Adam Pearce screams that he needs a drink. That part was funny. Main event, Jey Uso will battle Braun Breaker in Extreme Rules match. A video package after Raw, Naomi and Jimmy Uso will appear on Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story podcast. They have an announcement. We hear from the Women's World Champion Naomi next. Commercial break. Locker room segment. Main event, Jey Uso is getting pumped up when CM Punk walks up. CM Punk says they need to work together. Jey Uso has an Extreme Rules match against the Paul Patrol. CM Punk says he has Jey Uso's back. Jey Uso says he didn't ask for his help and doesn't need it for his match. CM Punk says in Paris, it's about the World Heavyweight Championship. This is about getting to Paris. Jey Uso says he doesn't want to owe anyone any favors. CM Punk says he's just letting him know he's here. Jey Uso walks off as CM Punk shakes his head. Alright. Main event, Jey Uso will battle Braun Breaker in an Extreme Rules match. So we get the Women's World Champion Naomi addresses the state of the title. This segment I've been waiting for. And this segment right here was way better way back at May 11th in 2020 when Becky Lynch relinquished the Raw Women's Championship to Asuka. This segment was way better. So this was a good segment by Naomi. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce is in the ring and welcomes the Women's World Champion Naomi to the ring. Women's World Champion Naomi makes her way to the ring. Adam Pearce says, "Champ, the floor is yours." The crowd applauds Naomi, who is getting emotional. The crowd lightly chants her name. Naomi says, This is hard to say." She directs them to the Tron video package. The clip of Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story podcast is shown. Naomi and Jimmy Uso have an announcement. Jimmy Uso says everyone needs to proceed with caution because there's a baby on the way, baby on the board. So congratulations to Naomi for having a baby. Congratulations to Jimmy Uso and Naomi about to have their baby. They're thrilled. Naomi says, "I'm pregnant and I'm having a baby." Congratulations. That's a big W. I'm happy for Naomi and Jimmy Uso. The crowd loudly applauds Naomi. Adam Pearce says he feels like he can speak on behalf of everyone. Naomi says, the crowd loudly applauds Naomi. Adam Pearce says he feels like he can speak on behalf of everyone here. They are so happy for her. Adam Pearce congratulates her. Naomi sneers at Adam Pearce and says she bet he's happy. This ain't her first time relinquishing a title. She handed back the first time, but this time I ain't handing you. You know what? That part was funny when Naomi said that. I laughed at that part. Her hormones are jumping like a disco. Naomi advised Adam Pearce to get out of her face. She kicks him out of the ring. Naomi cackles as she has the crowd sing "Kiss Him Goodbye" at Adam Pearce. Naomi says she hopes her trips in his crutches shoes. Naomi says all the women in the locker room will be thanking one person, Big Jim. Without him, they wouldn't have a chance to take the title. Naomi was working all year and was going to put all the efforts in the ground. But luckily for them, Big Jim likes to Jim likes to Netflix and chill. That part was and chill. The crowd chants, "You deserve it." That part was funny when Naomi said that. Naomi looks emotional again. Naomi says, "Oh, on the bright side, it looks like the bloodline continues, baby." Naomi uh, cackles again. The crowd chants OTC. Naomi says she'll lay her custom title on the mat. A baby Uso chair picks up. Naomi says she'll leave the title here and gives the Hebrews 9 months and some change to do what they want with her title, even if she has to come back breastfeeding with a baby in her arms. She's picking up where she left off. Whoever has the title, she advised them to proceed with caution. This segment right here was way better back in May 11th in 2020 when Becky Lynch relinquished the Raw Women's Championship to Asuka, and that's nothing but facts by itself. This segment by Naomi was fantastic. I enjoyed this. And after Naomi relinquished the Women's World Championship, you already know WWE is going to give it to Stephanie McMahon. WWE is going to give the Women's World Championship to Stephanie McMahon. Watch, I tell you. I can definitely see it coming. There's a baby on board. Congratulations to the trendy Fatu and Jimmy WWE Uso. Alright, let's move on. Beautiful announcement for Naomi. Baby Uso is on the way. The bloodline continues. She was on the best run of her career, so she'll have to pump the brakes for a while. Taking from experience, a baby is a very happy divergence. Congratulations to Naomi and Jimmy Uso. Hashtag WWE. Next, Money on Raw from Birmingham. Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. Penta versus Kofi Kingston. Special start time of 3 p.m. Eastern Time. This Friday on SmackDown from Dublin, Ireland, John Cena will appear live. Backstage segment. Braun Breaker is walking backstage. He'll battle Jey Uso in the Extreme Rules match. Commercial break. Backstage segment. The Judgment Day is walking backstage, wondering where Dominic Mysterio is. They find him talking to El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Louis Kaiser. Americano walks off. Finn Balor asks what that was about. Dominic Mysterio says he was trying to make sure the Judgment Day is always on top. They walk off, leaving Finn Balor looking confused and concerned. I already know that Dominic Mysterio is going to get kicked out of the Judgment Day when Liv Morgan comes back. I can definitely see when Liv Morgan comes back, she's going to be a babyface. And Dominic Mysterio is always going to be a babyface. That's all I got to say. But anyway, let me continue. So we get the main event of the evening, the Extreme Rules match. The main event, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, coming by Paul Heyman. And this match right here, this was, I ain't gonna lie, this was a good main event match right here. There is a shopping cart full of weapons at ringside, a tribute to the late New Jack. The bell rings and Braun Breaker says, "I'll murder you." Jey Uso blocks a punch and punches Braun Breaker into the corner. Jey Uso gets on the middle rope and starts to punch him. Braun Breaker fights out and turns him around before hitting some shoulder thrusts to the midsection. Braun Breaker puts Jey Uso in the corner and punches away at him in the corner. Jey Uso fights Braun Breaker off and clotheslines him over the top rope, landing him on the shopping carts full of weapons. Ouch. The crowd chants, "We want tables." Braun Breaker is having trouble getting to his feet. Jey Uso goes under the ring for a table. Braun Breaker painfully pulls himself into the ring, so Jey Uso punches him down. Jey Uso punches him out of the ring and hits the ropes for a suicide dive. Back from the break. I'm sorry, we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, the ring is littered with weapons. There are several chairs in the ring and a trash can, a candlestick, crutches, you name it. During the break, Braun Breaker hits Jey Uso with their shoulder with a chair. Back to live action. Braun Breaker attacks Jey Uso with a chair before smashing a trash can lid off his back. An ECW champ picks up. Braun Breaker wedges a chair in the corner. Jey Uso reverses a whip, sending Braun Breaker head first into the chair. Braun Breaker slowly gets up, and Jey Uso starts punching away at him. Jey Uso does some tactics and takes him down with a right hand. Jey Uso charges, but Braun Breaker turns him inside out with a clothesline. Braun Breaker sets up sets up a pair of chairs back to back. Braun Breaker lifts him and drops him real spurs onto the tops of those chairs. Wow. Braun Breaker follows Jey Uso outside and bounces him off the commentary table. Braun Breaker goes to the apron and grabs a trash can. Braun Breaker comes off the apron with a dive onto Jey Uso, hitting him with a trash can and sending him over the table. So we go to commercial break. Back from the final break of the evening, Braun Breaker is going for a superplex. Jey Uso fights him off, so Braun Breaker scales the ropes and hits a Frankensteiner for a near fall. Chad Patton counted the pin while slapping a chair. Braun Breaker pulls the strap down and the dogs in Philadelphia starts barking. Braun Breaker hits the ropes lightning quick before Jey Uso crushes him with a spear. 1-2. Braun Breaker barely kicks out. Jey Uso smashes Braun Breaker's spine twice with a chair. Jey Uso gets another chair and smashes him on the shoulder with it. Jey Uso hits another spear and goes to the top rope. Jey Uso connects with the Uso splash. 1-2. Big Bronson Reed pulls the referee out of the ring. Bronson Reed has the referee's shoe and throws it at him. Bronson Reed hits Jey Uso with a cannonball and punches away at him. Bronson Reed hits a Death Valley driver. LA Knight heads to the ring and attacks Bronson Reed. LA Knight punches away at the tribal thief before knocking him out of the ring. LA Knight bounces him off the commentary table a few times before driving him into the steel steps. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins attacks LA Knight from behind. Seth Rollins drives LA Knight into the barricade. Seth Rollins gets in the ring and hits Jey Uso with a pedigree. Seth Rollins goes outside and grabs the referee. CM Punk music hits to a huge ovation. Seth Rollins grabs a steel chain. CM Punk punches him, so Seth Rollins gets in the ring. The crowd is singing Cult of Personality. CM Punk and LA Knight go back and forth punching Seth Rollins. LA Knight hits Bronson Reed with a baseball slide. CM Punk signals for the end. CM Punk goes for a go to sleep, but Seth Rollins breaks the odds. Seth Rollins drives CM Punk into LA Knight, knocking LA Knight off the apron and through the table at ringside. CM Punk chases Seth Rollins into the crowd. Braun Breaker gets a table and sets it up. A light OTC champ picks up. Braun Breaker grabs Jey Uso, but Jey Uso super kicks him onto the table. Jey Uso heads to the top rope, but Bronson Reed shows him off to the floor. Braun Breaker goes to ringside to set up for a spear. That's how I called it, straight down the middle. Roman Reigns' music hits and Braun Breaker looks towards the stage, but Roman Reigns doesn't come out. Braun Breaker charges in to hit Jey Uso with a spear, but Roman Reigns cuts him off with a massive spear at ringside. Roman Reigns hits Bronson Reed with a Superman punch, and puts Braun Breaker in the ring. Jey Uso super kicks Braun Breaker onto the table and hits him with the Uso splash to the table for the win. for the win. The winner by pinfall, main event Jey Uso. Yeet. Roman Reigns yells at Bronson Reed, who has stolen 2 pairs of his shoes. Paul Heyman holds Bronson Reed back as the show ends. Really fun Extreme Rules main event. The Extreme Rules stipulation guaranteed us our first non-finish in a WWE Raw main event since July 14th when CM Punk won the gauntlet match nearly a month. Sadly, fantastic. Alright, the Extreme Rules stipulation also allowed for the usual interference will come to experience in recent weeks and months, but at least it didn't lead to a non-finish. It looks like it will be Roman Reigns versus Tribal Thief. Good setup for WWE Clash in Paris. Hashtag WWE Raw. Alright, this hashtag WWE Raw was a slight disappointing, only because the usual awesome Philadelphia crowd was a bit subdued throughout the show. It wasn't the normal hot crowd you expect. Some big news, particularly Naomi vacated her title due to her pregnancy. Raw oversees next week early show, and WWE goes off the air. Now, let me get my experience. I think about WWE Raw. If you guys enjoyed my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys full watch the video from the beginning to the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more rest content I do on the channel. Make sure you guys follow my social media down below in the description. Oh yeah, let me get my opinion what I think about WWE Raw. Now, WWE Raw was a decent show, but the But the one segment I did enjoy was Naomi's segment. That's the only segment. That's the only segment that I enjoyed. That I enjoyed on Raw tonight. But everything else was just there on the card. But like I said, when did that segment between Naomi, that segment with Naomi was way better than Becky Lynch. Then Becky Lynch back in May 11th in 2020 when Becky Lynch relinquished the Raw Women's Championship to Asuka. This segment tonight that Naomi cut was way better than Becky Lynch back at May 11th in 2020 when Becky Lynch relinquished the Raw Women's Championship to Asuka. It's nothing but facts by itself. But like I said, WWE Raw was a decent show for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. And I give that show a 5 out of 10. But anyway, the only segment I enjoyed was Naomi's segment, but everything else on the card was just there. All right, and yeah. And if you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content I do on the channel. And that's all I gotta say, man. Make sure you guys follow my social media down below in the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch for some WWE NXT watching on live and reactions. I hope my stream don't crash tomorrow on Twitch. I hope not. So I will go live on Twitch tomorrow for some WWE NXT watch along live and reactions. I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will see you guys tonight for my upcoming world premiere for my WWE Raw review on highlights at 4 o'clock a.m. 4 o'clock a.m. right here on YouTube channel. Right here on my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe because I'm on the road to 11K. Stay too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang. And make sure you guys watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. That's going to help with the watch time hours. So stay too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang.